The Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, as part of its welfare packages for all nurses and midwives in Ghana, has established what has become known as Health Fund. This fund has been established purposely to give lifeline support to all nurses and midwives who fall ill in the course of duty. It is against this background that the Mrs. Perpetual Fori Ampofo-led National Executive Committee came to the rescue of Mr. Samuel Addo, a community health nurse who was involved in a road traffic accident during his scheduled child welfare clinic CWC activity at the Taabosom community, a suburb of the Infantiman municipality of the central region of Ghana.
It was part of some of his mandates to make sure immunization reaches down to the people within his catchment area. No? Because they don't have the vaccine fridge here, they always have to come for the vaccines from Domnase Health Center. All back now. The unfortunate incident sees he was involved in an accident. It was not just an accident, it was quite fatal because an accident that involved fracture of your ribs and some of your pelvic bones, I think it's something of major concern. And since that incident happened, it's been about 2 months now. And Papa, you can see he's still in a chair, though he tries to walk around, but per medical advice, he's not supposed to be walking around. So we are very happy to have received such a warm gesture or a visit from you, coming to pay him a visit and also to look at how he's doing. It tells us that our mother is still conscious of us, and wherever we are, she's with us. So you are warmly welcome to Taabosom Chief Zone.
We also had the report from Infantiman District Executives, Chairman and Secretary Court, and they informed me as the regional chairman and then my team. We saw the pictures and quickly we have to also report to President. And when she saw the pictures, she said, no, this is just too much. She planned coming here with us, but she's equally on assignment outside the country. So, in fact, coming here, she even called, WhatsApp called that we should make sure we get here and then extend to him and then the team here that she's solidly behind us. Her issue has been when some of this is happening, the employer, has the employer been informed? Have we done so? These are some of the things. Yes, she's the mother, she's the head of our association. She will come in wherever she has to come in. But she wants to also make sure that when it happens, we inform the employer about it so that they will know what is actually happening on the ground. If they have something in place for employees going through such situations that our brother has gone through, they should let us know. But that aside, she's also not saying because employer is maybe not ready, sleeping on it, she wouldn't also come up with what she has to come up with to support, to make sure her pain is kind of supported. We support him to go through this phase of what is happening. So she signed something small for us to come and give it to him. We wouldn't pay off everything. We can't but to show to him that the association and the president herself, Mrs. Perpetua Foriampofo, and her entire National Executive Committee are solidly, and the entire nation, we are behind him, going to give care at a very remotest place. Go and give vaccines, to do your child welfare clinics, and then some of these things happen. This is not what we expect. This is not what we expect. We expect that you go and come safely, and then you'll be that strong to go another time again. But for you to come sustain this kind of accident, it means there's this break when it comes to offering the continuous services that we have to offer to the people at the community level. So we are here to show that support and to also tell our story. Maybe they do not know what we are going through, but they must know what we are going through. That's why we are here. So from Madam President, quick recovery and something small for you. Okay? So in her own wisdom and that of the National Executive Committee, she said we should bring you 60,000 Ghana. So when I mentioned that you wouldn't even enjoy it, she said we should bring you 600 million.
Wow.
So that you will appreciate what we are doing. We want you to understand that for GRNMA, this is what we believe in: welfare of members. Welfare of members. So we do quarterly meetings and we inform the district executives, the chairman and secretaries, that when members go through this kind of predicaments, don't sit. Inform us. Let us also inform the powers that be, and support will come. This is the GRNMA that we all love. And we believe that from here, you also be ambassadors. Let people know that when you go through this, we help you. Not only this, but some people who are even flood victims, others get some things stolen, all these things, the association comes in to support. So we are here to let you know that the GRNMA is solidly behind you. Okay? That is it. On behalf of all nurses and midwives in Ghana, we present this to you. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Opportunity given to me. As it was being said, it was after activity. From here, we take our vaccines from Dominas, our sub-district. So we've been working with motorbike because it is hard to reach area. We've been here more than 4 years now. So one Friday after work, and I decided to send the vaccine. Even I went to alight my colleagues. One is at Ayeldo and one also at Dominas. But I decided for the Dominas one to go, so that I come back to take the vaccine. I don't know what what came to my mind. Like she was also being part of me. So I was going on my way. All that I saw was a gravel, a heap of gravels in front of the road, in the middle of the road. That is other side of the road, and I was also at the other side of the road. Cars at my back where they bypassed me. All that I saw was a heap of gravels, so I climbed it in the form of a mountain. That is what that I saw, and I could remember I was flying there. That is what I saw.
A little detail to the whole incident. Just as he said, it was one evening around 7 o'clock when I was actually called. 7 p.m. Yeah, 7 p.m. I was actually called that there is a case. As usual, I thought it's just any case, only for me to come in and they said, hey, Samio. That's what they said. Samina Odahoyo. So I was like, so to be frank, at that moment, I shook, like, because he's one of the most hardworking staff we have. In fact, he's our number 9. So when I got to the ward, he was lying in one fixed position. And he was just saying, God help me. God help me. That was just his statement he was making. And you could see that there was blood almost all around. And some young guys. So I asked, what happened? And just as he narrated, when he was coming, unfortunately, his way coming, he saw that there was this gravel heap. So the road was limited and 2 cars were also doing overtaking almost in line. And he was now facing them. So the only way he could survive was just trying to dodge. And then he went into that gravel. And the guy said they saw somebody in the air. Then they didn't see the person again. So they decided to now go and be searching. So they were searching and they found a motorbike destroyed. But they couldn't see the human being. So they were now moving around because the way the thing happened, he can't scream, he couldn't talk, he was just lying flat. So it was these young guys that saw him and carried him on their back because there was no car. And they were walking to the facility before finally they were able to get a car that brought him. When I examined him, there was this huge swelling at the left part of his rib, and you could barely touch it. And there was this indentation. You could, when you examine, you see that there are some fractures. He could hardly breathe well. His SpO2 was dropping. We have to force and set a line, call an ambulance. In fact, the circumstances behind me even being able to travel was even by God's grace. It was so bad because you call this ambulance and say, oh, okay, you said the person needs oxygen. Then we can't come and call another person. So I called Saltpond, I called National. Then later we have to get ambulance from Adanse. Come, Asim, yes, Asin Adanse to come to his aid. In fact, it was a serious thing. But one thing I loved, which I was so happy about, was the fact that you could see the whole community coming. You know, I've been around for a while, so I know most of you could see them coming around, and some of them were even crying because they thought he was dead. But we just reassured them he'll be fine. So the facility did its best to be able to foot the bill, to transport him and start the care of him. And I informed the municipal health director, Mrs. Gifty Ankra. In fact, she also moved in swiftly and she gave me the order that, Joshua, whatever thing you can do to make sure that the staff is fine, you do it regardless of the cost. And so I have to delegate one staff to join him to Winneba since he doesn't also have his relatives around. And the guy actually also went and was giving me a feedback. In fact, I was calling throughout the whole night to know what is happening at a point in time. Some of the pictures he sent to me, in fact, that's the truth, because I saw what happened and I saw the state of how things were going. And the good thing is that his respiration stabled. His SpO2 wasn't dropping again. So that is what gave us comfort. So I think 3 days' time, I drove there to Winneba Trauma Hospital to also see to myself what was happening. The staff also did their best by praying and some few donations. Then finally, he was discharged home. The director came to visit. I think the director sent a delegation to go and visit him at Winneba. And then when he was discharged here, the director herself drove to this place to look at how he's doing. The facility too has come around to check up on him. It has been a very hard time because he's not used to be that calm person. He's that very active, vibrant, jovial, easygoing type. Like, he's always around. So the community member, everybody know him. So even where he's staying in the community, because of his good works, they gave him an accommodation to just take care of him until he's fine. Before today you came in. So it has been a very painful journey for him since I think the month of April. Recently I was talking to him and said, Joshua, Manu Meduna mean to me until. So he's currently on analgesic strong ones just to help him be able to even walk or even have a kind of stable life for now. So it's not been easy for him, but I think this kind gesture coming at this time will help cushion his pain and will also help in the continuity of his care. So on behalf of the sub-district, Abiazi Dominase, Taabosom, and on his behalf as well, we want to say a very big thank you. And this kind gesture comes in at a time when people think that the Mother Association do not think about his staff. But this will go a long way to let people know that whatever thing they are saying is not for saying sake, but then it is practical. It's something that is actually happening. Because I've been in the group before. I'm still in a group before some of us moved a little. So you are doing great, and I want to thank the regional team for which you are their boss. We want to thank you so much for not sleeping on this and seeing it as it could be your junior brother, it could be your friend, it could have been your church member, and as a matter of fact, a working colleague. We want to say a very big thank you. And a team in Infantiman.
My great appreciation goes to the Almighty God and also to our mother, Madam Perpetua, and all executives who are here.
Yes, well.
I thank you very much for all that you've done.
Just well. This is well. Okay. Right.
On the challenges nurses face when assessing healthcare, Mr. Samuel Addo recounted the difficulties he encountered at the Trauma and Specialist Hospital, Grnma, where payment for medications were demanded before care was rendered.
When you don't have money and you are being admitted at the hospital, in crisis like this, like what I went through, you will die.
As a staff.
As a staff. It is like the old system, cash and carry. Because you don't pay for the drugs, you're not taking care. If you don't have money, then you are in a crisis as I am now, and you have been admitted at the hospital. If you don't have money, you will die. You are being considered as a client. So I was there lying down, asking myself, whom at all am I working with? So I'm pleading. It's not easy. And I'm not the first person. I've also witnessed a situation. I didn't know. I will be a victim. So please, and please again, do something about it. As a staff, we need to be considered. If you look at the other institutions like police and other military aspect, they've been treated and go home without even paying anything. And we, the health workers, who are on board working, we are being treated as strangers at the hospital. What their protocols over there, after that one, I can't tell. But being a staff, at least, we have to be considered.
So you are saying in your in that your situation, you lied there and the care wasn't coming because money wasn't ready.
If you have to pay for the drug before they use the drug only.
Oh.
Because if you don't pay, you won't get a
Was it made clear to them that you are a nurse?
Very clear.
A committee nurse from.
Very clear.
And the staff accommodated him actually. So it was enough reasons for them to know that.
Schools at the same time.
So it's something of concern, major concern. Because without the money, how do you get the drug?
So were there some instances where you needed some drugs but you didn't get because money was not ready?
But God being so good, people around me, anything that they request, they just give up. Because I don't have the money on me at that instant. So God being so good, by 1 hour to 30 minutes, I've been served with the drugs.
So that 1 hour to 30 minutes to 1 hour, they don't really give you that medication until that money comes.
So the money comes. You pay for the money. You go for a receipt before you go for the drugs. That's what goes on.
That was the treatment you got.
That was the treatment I went through.
As a community nurse.
There are many more, but this is the most painful aspect that I want to hammer on. Because being a staff, then why do you work? Why do you work? You have to benefit the system that you are in it. But there's no benefit that when you are sick, you have to pass through the same process as you've been passed through as the client, the patient. And it shouldn't be so. Because if there wasn't people over there to support me, I would have died instantly. I would have died. And so now I can see your health is your concern.
Yes. Not our concern.
Your health is your concern now. So I'm pleading if you can push further so that we can also get some benefit in terms of when there is a situation, a health worker is sick and other things. Because we are in the system. So why do you bypass us and other people will be treated? Because we are the lifesavers and we are here to save people's life. We save people, but our own people do not want to save us due to drugs issue. We don't have money for the drugs.
On dwindling staff strength, Mr. Addo expressed his thoughts on the way forward.
But with the challenges nurses are facing, especially community health nurses are facing our chief zone as a whole, there are many challenges in terms of inadequate staff, in terms of our work is how to reach area, the means of transport to the catchment areas to perform our duties. We don't have them. We do struggle before we reach there. And some of the few motorbikes that we have, per my experience, they don't have license. We don't have license for the motorbikes. We don't have any insurance covering the motorbikes. So when in times of this, you have no option. And then in the work aspect, in terms of security, we don't have pharmacists, doctor, you are a prescriber, you are a lab technician, you are NHIS. In terms of administration, you have to go. When you have meeting, you are moving up and down. You don't even get time for yourself. It's very tedious to be in this situation. But it is all in the name of the work. So we are doing our best to also help Mother Ghana. So we are pleading. You have to come to our aid. Those are the cheap zones.
On issue of accommodation for newly posted staff, the situation was very dire.
In terms of accommodation, it's very, very, very serious for us. I do sleep here, which is not supposed to be so. It is a room that has been built for the function of our duties, to perform our duties. But because I don't have a good accommodation, I need to convert one of the room to be a room. These are the quarters. There's a quarters at the bush here where the community they tried their effort, but they couldn't complete. So if you come here and you don't have a good accommodation too, it's also a problem that we are facing. Accommodation, ways of transport, and our security issue is also a burden on us. Security issue. And we need more nurses too.
On steady leave, Mr. Samuel Addo had this to say.
Granted steady leave so that we can move. Because being here for several years is not easy. It's not easy. I have applied for steady leave for 3 consecutive years. I have not been granted. But you are due to where this place were a very bushy place. Anybody that will be posted here refuses. But we managed to stay here and we are here.
On access to potable water for the Chips Zone, Mr. Addo narrated chilling stories of how he secured support for the provision of water.
When I came here, I was here for almost a year without water. The community members fetch water for me to about even a week. If you don't get water, you can't do whatever that you want to do. So even when children are in and they are ill, when they come, you need to wait so that they go and bring water so that you can tempest point them. So I lobbied with a man through the good work that we are doing, and I lobbied with some of the clients, their relatives, and he came to my aid. He is at USA, Reverend Mensah. So he came down and I talked to him that this is what I'm facing, and he said, "Oh, he would try his possible best to help." But God being so good, I do called him and we talked. So he helped. He sent me an amount more than 200 million to Old Ghana City, and I was able to drill a mechanized borehole. That's what I did, and I also went to the community. There was this poly tank at the community where they don't use it in the school. I also tried, and they brought it to me, and I have been able to get some pipe to link the rainwater into it. So now, after water issue, I have tried my best. I was also trying to make some shelter for CWC. This is where the pillars they are. Even the community member also came and they took one of the pillar. So it has been replaced by a bamboo, which we need to do something. We need to do something to help. So my aim of being here was to change the situation here and also to bring a midwife here. That was because here in this community, this is the only infant man here. All the community that you've bypassed, this is the only infant man here. So we are between AAK. This is the only infant man. And I serve under 4 communities. Taabosom, Chichore, Odumano, and Kawamsre. That one, it is outside this domain. We need to work hard, and we need to also join our association and find a good association to join, as Grnma has done. And we need your help too, so that there are many people who are down there who also need help, not in terms of like how I am now, but other aspects too.
We are being faced with inadequate staff. Most of our staff, some of them have left to school, and their numbers at the chief zone, sometimes they are just 2. So when one leaves, it becomes a challenge. That means that the person who works now works 24 hours without any off duty. Because the moment he even attends a meeting at the district level, it means that the facility has to be locked. And these are some of the challenges that we are encountering as a sub-district. The association, I want to say thank you And we wish that we come up with more innovations and more vibrant activities that the association members will enjoy from. Like my brother rightly said, for nurses or health workers to be sick and go to the hospital and being treated as an ordinary client is something that is so disheartening. And so we plead that the association will continue to fight in the interest of our nurses so that our nurses will not give up on their core mandates as they have been tasked with.